To enter the course, you have to do the login. This is the access page in which you can enter the username and the password that has been given to you. You have to click on login and then you enter the learning environment. The learning environment is a series of sections with a graphic introduction and a series of side blocks. There are a few utilities, such as a forum news, which is a notice board concerning events in the calendar or news which has been introduced in the course. Moreover, there's a syllabus which summarizes the objectives and the methodology which are the object and that has been used in the course. There are also an explanation of which objectives you can reach in the course. It's very useful to take a look at the syllabus at the beginning of the course. In the side blocks, there are information and utilities. You can see which users are online, you can ask questions, and you can add comments. Comments can be saved. These can be also questions to whom the content expert can give a feedback and answer. There are other utilities, such as a random glossary and a search box. Going back to the learning environment, there are sections placed in sequence. The first one, towards the problem, contains a few activities. First of all, a self-evaluation instrument which is necessary for the course, which consists in giving a quantitative answer to a series of questions on the user's knowledge and skills concerning an argument. Once filled, the questionnaire has to be saved and sent. This is the first task for the course. Then there's a self-presentation. It's a what-if game. So what if you are a thing? You can add up to 5 pictures with a very simple tool. It's possible to upload files and add information in the box. Of course, it's necessary to save everything you do in the course. If you go back to the learning environment, there's a third activity which consists in choosing a group. The groups in which it's possible to be divided in is e-tutors, information broker, and content expert. And each group can work separately. The second session is a live one. There's a link to a webinar tool during which there will be a 3-hour presentation and an activities comparison concerning the setting of the problem. It's possible to activate the session by clicking on the concern button. Going back, there's another section which is setting the problem. There's a video introduction. The video has to be seen before doing the activities of this session. Moreover, there's another a video introduction which is interactive, and it's necessary to understand the problem posing session of the course. This is a very common activity in this type of courses. There are also linked activities, which are a collaborative journal. This journal is a space that can be used by the groups so that they can note every activity that has been made, and it's also useful to collect ideas and organize the activities in order to reach a solution to the problem. So each group has its own journal and can edit it however they like, adding pages, adding paragraphs. It's a sort of more well-evolved wiki. This is an example of how to insert a new text. The collaborative journal is a fixed tool for each session. Moreover, another shared tool is the glossary. It's possible for everyone to add. The glossary can be seen by everyone and can be commented upon and can be added upon. So it's a very useful tool in time. Always remember to save the input you have entered in the box. After this session, there's another live session. And afterwards, there's the problem setting session. Here there are many activities. One activity concerns the assessment of the impact of scientific papers and journals. It's a flashcard section. It's possible to turn the cards. On the one side, there's a question for the input, and the activity is to give an answer to these questions. The activity is very simple, but it has a significant impact. In this phase also, the users has to add input to the collaborative journal. Finally, there are other activities to find a solution. Among these activities, there's a map. This is a metaphorical subway map in which each line are macro indicators for the evaluation of an online paper, for example. And then the stations are elements for this area. For there are indicators and sub-indicators. Also indicators for elements for evaluation. Of course, there will be further explanation in the material which will be sent to you, and also by the e-tutors and experts. As always, also in this phase, users have to fill the collaborative journal and also have to create a map. This is a sort of assignment that has to be submitted, and it's also object of evaluation by the experts. Finally, there's a more traditional assessment quiz, which is useful for a self-assessment of the knowledge acquired. This quiz has the same questions that there are in the in the self-learn version of this course. After having organized the solving the problem presentation, there's a final live session in which the experience and the activities will be shared by all the groups. This is not the end, however, because there's a final section which is beyond the problem, and it's an invitation to reflect in a metacognitive way at the end of the learning course on what has been learned and how. This is made in two ways. The first one is to check in a checklist the activities which has been made, and it's also possible to add eventual activities and indicators which has been answered during the course. That can be added as learned knowledge. Finally, we go back to the self-assessment questionnaire which has been taken at the beginning of the course. And it's possible to see how the answers have changed and if there's been an effective progress. Of course, there should be an increase in competencies and knowledge, so there should be a higher evaluation of the user's abilities. The resources area is the one in which you can find the collaborative journal and the glossary, but there's also a knowledge base, which is a database for shared knowledge in which the information broker and also the participants can add information linked to resources such as articles, presentations, videos, or whatever can be useful for the analysis of the problem and the research of its solution. It's possible to add information and save, and that can be used by everyone in the course. Finally, the course is concluded. There's also a final part for activities that e-tutor and experts will evaluate each time whether they can be useful to propose to the participants and if they are useful for the participants.